highest areas of interest were weatherization and insulation for residents. So as we built the program, it became a two-tiered structure that focused on two areas. It has two funding components, and you'll hear more about this as we go through this process through the coming months. The first fund is the funding component number 1, which is our Energy Conservation Action Plan. This is what all of the neighborhoods who submitted applications were judged on. So we wanted to focus on education and awareness, physical and technology improvements, mobility, and recycling. And we wanted to evaluate each of the applications for what they covered in these areas. It could be all or some, but we wanted to make sure that we were touching on at least some of these, because these were the primary areas contributing to energy conservation here in Charlotte. The second funding component is the Household Energy Fund. And this fund is going to be used to upfit approximately 30 homes in each neighborhood with energy efficiency upgrades, specifically focusing on 3 areas: duct sealing, additional insulation, and weatherization of the homes. The selection criteria, and I'm not going to read all of it, but it had 4 primary areas. We evaluated each application for the anticipated energy conservation, for participation and collaboration from the community, including the neighborhood residents, but also the local businesses and nonprofit organizations, any community involvement. Project impact and project design. So how well thought out was a project? How well planned was it? How much capacity did they have to support the programs that they were proposing? I want to thank our review team. Not all of them are here today, but we do have one. Kathy Spence is sitting up here in the front, and I didn't want to embarrass her, but I'm going to. Kathy, can you please stand for a moment? We had several folks on our review team from external and internal sources. Kathy is a member of the United States Green Building Council Charlotte Region Chapter Board, and she also works for Bannister Homes, which is a local home builder who is well versed in all things green. If you see these people, and we will meet them along the way, please take a moment to extend your thanks to them. They put in an inordinate amount of time, and we are really appreciative of everything that they gave us towards this review process. So now I'd like to move on to the fun part, the congratulations of the neighborhoods. So these are the 7 neighborhoods we selected based on the criteria that we had displayed before. So our final winners were Avenue Condos, Eco District, which actually encompassed 3 neighborhoods: Villa Heights, Belmont, and Optimist Park; Mary Oaks, Noda, Plaza Midwood, Spring Park, and Wilmore. So now I want to go through some project highlights, and I'd like to ask the neighborhoods to come up. We're also going to take a brief moment to take a picture with each of the neighborhoods. So, Dan, I'd like to invite you up. I know you're the only one from Avenue Condos here, so you get to be the focus of our attention. Avenue Condos really had a very strong application with respect to energy conservation. They are planning to do an upgrade of the lighting in their subterranean parking garage. Those lights are on all day, every day. The upgrade will actually save more than 50% of the energy that they use, equating to approximately 391,000 kilowatt hours.
Per year.
Per year. So Dan, thank you. Great. We would like to have the
we're just grateful to have been selected. We didn't, think that we had a shot with all the great neighborhoods that are out there, a lot bigger than what we represent. But I think the amount of savings that we can generate for the city and for our residents is pretty significant. 390,000 kilowatts is a lot of homes that could be lit with that amount of energy, more so than I think some of the weatherization projects that are out there can deliver. So we're excited.
before we continue too, that we have a really exciting mix of neighborhoods in this group. Avenue Condos is at 210 North Church Street, and they're a high-rise condo building, but you're going to see that we're going to move to neighborhoods just outside of the uptown area and all the way out to the university area, closer to where we have more farm country. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this neighborhood energy challenge impacts all of these neighborhoods in different ways. So thank you, Dan, for your wonderful application. In addition, I'd like to add that we originally anticipated to fund 5 neighborhoods, but we were able to secure additional funding so that we can actually fund 7 neighborhoods. We received 12 applications total, and I have to say that all the applicants made our job really hard. So to have to select 5 was beginning to get to be a bit of a dilemma, but when we were able to find the additional funding to have 7, we were excited to do that. So we're going to move on to our next contender, which was the Eco District, and I'd like to ask the representatives from the Eco District to come up, please. The Eco District had a lot of extremely exciting neighborhood engagement projects. They're going to do a neighborhood light bulb swap, discounted HVAC inspections and tune-ups to 100 homes, bicycle education and awareness, website energy features, and bus stop review, and that it doesn't even stop there, but I couldn't put their entire application on one slide. So I'd like to take a moment to thank you all and give you a hand. And maybe we can just cover everybody all around. Yeah. Okay. Michael is the challenge leader. Michael, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, you covered the main points that we have as the rest of my team leaves us. I was going to ask you about their particular projects that they wanted to share on top of what we just did here. The main thing is we are excited about moving forward. This is a brainchild actually of Elizabeth Bergman about a year ago. She got wind of this grant as it was being developed by the city. And we started putting irons in the fire. And with that, it's just been very exciting to move forward, and now we're actually going to be able to make an impact with this grant money. And it's just a very fortunate and great step for us to move forward on.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Eco District?
The Eco District is basically Belmont, Bill Heights, and Optimus Park. And there's been troubles. It's neighborhoods that have had issues with gangs and violence and drugs. And this is one of the ways that we can pull together as a community, instead of just working against the negative, to work for a positive. First of all, for the environment, and that's where the eco comes from. But not only that, we're also going to be able to save people green, which a neighborhood that is primarily of poor income or lesser income, that's a great asset to us as a neighborhood. To be able to save some money from our neighbors, to bring in some money that they probably wouldn't have to put insulation into their own home if they wanted to. So it's really a great step for our neighborhood.
Well, wonderful. You guys did a great application. Thank you. And Michael raises a really interesting point, and it's another piece to our neighborhood energy challenge outside of funding the neighborhoods. But in addition to what we currently cover with our quality of life study, we're going to start adding in additional energy and environment data to capture some more positive things that the neighborhoods are doing. Because quality of life is not just about crime rates, teen pregnancies, unemployment, but it's also about how a neighborhood operates and all of the positive things. And we think that we'll be able to find that a lot of these neighborhoods actually are doing terrific things around energy consumption, water use, and we'll be evaluating a number of energy and environment components which UNCC will be working with us on to integrate into our next quality of life report. So we'll be announcing more about that coming up soon as well as that progresses. But we wanted to thank you again for what you're doing and add that point in, because it's extremely important to us to capture everything about our neighborhoods. So our next neighborhood is Mary Oaks, and I'd like to ask Heather Bullock to come up with, it's Andrea, is that correct? Mary Oaks is working on a conservation workshop